Take a good look at this Argentina team. 26 professional footballers, World Cup winners, Copa America champions. Yet somehow, everything seems to revolve around one man. Lionel Messi. Watch Rodrigo de Paul. The moment an opponent gets anywhere near Messi, he's already there. Now look at Nicolas Otamendi. On his chest isn't a tattoo of a family member or a childhood hero. It's Lionel Messi. Then watch Argentina lift the Copa America. Every celebration ends the same way. Messi is at the center of it. Watch them become world champions. And once again, every player rushes towards him before celebrating themselves. Emiliano Martinez once admitted that before the 2022 World Cup, he didn't buy Messi a birthday present because he wanted his gift to be the World Cup itself. Think about that for a second. These aren't ordinary teammates. They're some of the greatest footballers in the world. So why do they treat one man like this? Why does an entire national team seem willing to do anything for Lionel Messi? Every one of those moments has a story behind it. And that's exactly where this story begins. The truth is, Lionel Messi didn't earn that loyalty through goals alone. If that were true, every football legend would inspire the same devotion. Instead, he earned it through hundreds of moments that rarely made the headlines. Take penalties, for example. In football, penalties almost always belong to the biggest star. They're the easiest way for a goal scorer to add another goal to their record, and if Messi had wanted every single one, nobody would have questioned him. But time and time again, he chose differently. At Barcelona, he regularly handed penalties to Neymar and Luis Suarez. With Argentina, when Lautaro Martinez was struggling for confidence, Messi stepped aside and let him take the penalty instead. To most fans, it looked like a simple gesture. Inside a dressing room, it meant something far greater. Imagine you're Lautaro. The goals have dried up, confidence is fading, and the pressure keeps growing. Then the greatest player in the world places the ball in your hands and silently says, "I trust you." That penalty becomes more than a chance to score. It becomes a vote of confidence from the one player whose belief matters most. Moments like that stay with teammates forever. And it didn't stop there. During the 2022 World Cup, Messi produced one of the greatest assists of the tournament, splitting the Dutch defense to send Nahuel Molina through on goal. A few days later, he danced past Joško Gvardiol before laying the ball on a plate for Julian Alvarez against Croatia. Those goals belong to Molina and Alvarez in the record books, but the moments belong to Messi as much as they did to them. That's what made him different. He didn't just create chances, he created memories. Memories that teammates would carry for the rest of their lives. But if those moments earned their respect, what Messi did away from the pitch earned something even deeper. Football supporters only see 90 minutes every weekend. Teammates see everything else. They see who celebrates first, who accepts blame after defeat, and who quietly puts the team before themselves when nobody is watching. That's where Lionel Messi built something statistics could never measure. In 2023, Inter Miami won the first trophy in the club's history. As captain, Messi had every right to be the first player to lift it. Instead, he walked over to DeAndre Yedlin, removed the captain's armband, and tried to hand him the honor. Yedlin had captained the team long before Messi arrived, and Messi wanted to make sure that contribution wasn't forgotten. Yedlin insisted that Messi should lift the trophy, but the message had already been sent. Leadership to Messi was never about standing above everyone else. It was about bringing everyone with him. The same thing happened after Argentina won the 2024 Copa America. Rather than enjoying the spotlight alone, Messi called Angel Di Maria, playing the final international match of his career, and Nicolas Otamendi, one of Argentina's longest-serving leaders, to stand beside him and share the celebration. It wasn't about who the cameras were following. It was about making sure the people who had walked the journey together finished it together. Moments like these rarely make the front pages, but inside a dressing room, they are unforgettable. Players remember the teammate who shares the spotlight instead of keeping it. They remember the captain who makes everyone feel valued. And maybe that's why Argentina's relationship with Messi became so different. He never behaved like the biggest man in the room, even though everyone knew he was. But even that doesn't explain everything. Because respect is one thing. Looking at someone the way a child looks at their hero is something else entirely. That's because long before they became Lionel Messi's teammates, they were his biggest fans. Every generation of footballers grows up idolizing someone. French players had Zinedine Zidane. Brazilians had Ronaldo Nazario and Ronaldinho. But Argentina's new generation experienced something completely different. Their hero wasn't a retired legend from another era. He was still playing, still winning Ballon d'Ors, and still creating magic every single weekend. Julian Alvarez was only 7 years old when Messi scored his unforgettable solo goal against Getafe in 2007. Like countless children across Argentina, he grew up trying to recreate those moments. Enzo Fernandez watched Messi carry Argentina to the 2014 World Cup final before leaving the pitch heartbroken. Lautaro Martinez and Rodrigo de Paul spent their teenage years watching Messi become the best player in the world. Then, years later, something almost impossible happened. Those children walked into the Argentina dressing room and found their childhood hero sitting beside them, tying his boots for another training session. Imagine that for a moment. The player whose highlights you watched after school, the player whose shirt you begged your parents to buy, is suddenly your teammate. That's not a normal dressing room. That's a dream becoming reality. Rodrigo de Paul once admitted that even after years of playing alongside Messi, there are still moments during matches when he catches himself thinking, I can't believe I'm on the same pitch as him. Think about that. De Paul isn't an excited teenager. He's a World Cup winning midfielder who has played hundreds of professional matches. Yet Messi still leaves him in awe. But admiration alone wasn't enough to create the bond the world saw in Qatar. In fact, the moment that truly united this generation wasn't one of Messi's greatest victories. It was one of his greatest heartbreaks. For years, Argentina watched the same story repeat itself. Lionel Messi would carry his country to the edge of greatness, only to leave the pitch with his head down. In 2014, he inspired Argentina all the way to the World Cup final, only for Mario Götze's extra-time goal to break the nation's heart. A year later came another chance, another final, another defeat on penalties against Chile. Then, in 2016, history repeated itself. Argentina reached yet another Copa America final, and once again, Chile celebrated, while Messi walked away empty-handed. 3 major finals, 3 devastating defeats. Every time the cameras found the same man. Not lifting a trophy, but carrying the weight of an entire nation. Those images didn't just break Messi, they stayed with an entire generation of young Argentinians. Julian Alvarez saw them, Enzo Fernandez saw them, Alexis McAllister saw them. Before they were international teammates, they were supporters watching their childhood heroes suffer again and again. They watched people question his love for Argentina. They watched every defeat reopen the same painful debate. They watched the greatest player in the world blamed for failures that no single footballer could carry alone. Then came the moment that shocked the country. After losing the 2016 Copa America final, Messi announced his retirement from international football. For millions of Argentinians, it felt like the story had ended without the ending it deserved. But it didn't. Messi returned. Soon after, Lionel Scaloni began building a new Argentina around a generation that had grown up watching Messi carry those disappointments almost by himself. Those players weren't trying to create a new legend. They were trying to give their childhood hero the ending they believed he deserved. Suddenly, everything made sense. Rodrigo de Paul's fierce loyalty, Emiliano Martinez dreaming of giving Messi the World Cup as a birthday gift, the tears after the Copa America, the embraces in Qatar. None of those emotions were born in one tournament. They had been building for nearly a decade. By the time Argentina stepped onto the pitch for the 2022 World Cup final, they weren't chasing history alone. They were chasing redemption. And when the final whistle finally blew, nobody had to tell them where to run. They ran to the man whose dream had quietly become their own. And maybe that's the answer we were looking for all along. People often say Lionel Messi is loved because he's the greatest footballer of his generation. But greatness alone has never made an entire dressing room react the way Argentina reacts to Messi. Over the years, he gave teammates confidence when they needed it most. He shared the biggest moments instead of keeping them for himself. He treated young players like equals, never like followers. And while an entire generation grew up watching him suffer, they quietly made one promise to themselves: to help him finish the story that football had denied him for so long. That's why Nicolas Otamendi carries Messi on his chest. That's why Rodrigo de Paul protects him, as if they were brothers. That's why Emiliano Martinez believed the greatest gift he could ever give his captain was the World Cup itself. None of those moments were created by one match or one tournament. They were built over years of trust, sacrifice, and shared dreams. So when Argentina finally became world champions, those celebrations were never just about lifting football's biggest trophy. They were about watching their childhood hero finally receive the ending they believed he had always deserved. Maybe that's why, when the final whistle echoed around Lusail Stadium, nobody ran towards the World Cup first. They ran towards Lionel Messi.